Greetings, students of audio and video. Nate here with another edition of the Volunteer Tech Vlog. And, mostly I've been focusing on different concepts in audio, and I'm going to keep that going for the most part, just talking through different types of technology and concepts and things that you encounter as a live sound person, basically. So we talked about unity gain, we talked about mic level versus line level, we talked about polarity versus phase, things like that. And in this video, I wanted to change it up just a little bit and talk about just serving the church, and because that's primarily what I'm doing right now. And so there's a little bit of a different dynamic when you look at live sound in general, and you might volunteer to do set up audio equipment for a kid's play, or a local theater, or there could be any number of things where you might volunteer your skills for some sort of school production or something like that, and throw a production together. And it's kind of like a one-time thing. That's got a certain dynamic to it. But when you serve a church specifically for an extended period of time on a volunteer basis, right? There's certain things, like that's kind of the world that I live in, right? Like I've done live sound professionally, and I work as a system designer as my full-time job in the commercial AV systems integration world. So I have this like skill set that transfers over into the live sound world anyway. But I guess what I'm trying to get at in this video is the concept of serving the church. And I was just chatting with my friend Russell, and he asked me a good question. I think it's worth mentioning in this vlog. And so if you're watching this video, you probably have a good technical background, or you aspire to have a good technical background, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all newbies at something, right? And it's just a matter of taking the time to learn a certain trade or a certain set of skills. And it comes more naturally to some people than it does to others. But I really believe that we're all newbies at something, and we're always at different stages of learning and processing. And even me sitting down, I've done live sound for 15 years, and I'm still going to learn new things all the time. And I'll probably learn new things from the comments of this video. But one of the things that Russell asked me was, does your skill set, is it impeding your relationship with God, or are you using your skill set to further the church? So there's two things going on here. Is your skill set impeding your ability to serve and your relationship with God, or are you using your skill set for good, right? So this is kind of an interesting question, and I bring it up because it's when you're serving in a voluntary role. I think, especially for an extended period of time, there is a risk that your focus will shift more towards the technology. And this is a human nature thing. Like, really, you'll focus more on the minuscule minutia of the technology rather than really the end goal of what you're trying to accomplish at the church, right? And sharing the message clearly and effectively with people in the congregation versus just focusing mainly on the technology. And I don't have all the answers here. I got a big front end loader here that's trying to get by. Getting stuck here. Got some more snow coming. We got about 36 inches of snow on the ground. Probably got another foot coming. So anyway, I don't know if I'm sounding all scatterbrained or if this is making sense to any of you guys right now, but I mean, we've all got different gifts and skills, and I guess the main question I wanted to pose is your skill set being, is it positively affecting those around you and the congregation for which you're volunteering in, or is it turning into a hindrance? Now, just think about that for a minute. Think about if you're getting wrapped up in the technology of it, and your focus has shifted away from the main goal, or if your focus is on the main goal and you're putting the technology into place where it needs to be to accomplish those things. And it's a little bit of a paradigm shift, but it's something that I think I've wrestled with before, where I tend to focus more on the technology because it kind of consumes. There's so many things that we can focus on from a technical standpoint. I mean, geez, do we want to go with Pro Presenter 5, or do we want to, buy, Easy Worship, or whatever the other hot presentation software there is out there? Do we want to go with a digital board or an analog board? Do we want to go with X or Y or Z? There's so many different tech decisions that you can kind of get consumed with. I think maybe taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture and the purpose of what your church is trying to do, or your congregation is trying to do, and figuring out how you fit into that is it's important to keep that perspective, and so you don't just get locked down into the nitty-gritty technical stuff that can be a big time sink. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. That's kind of what I'm thinking through, and just different dynamics of being a volunteer tech, and how you handle that, how you grow, and how you interact with other people, and basically keeping a good attitude. Because if you show up and you're the grumpy sound guy, it's not necessarily a good thing. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next edition of the Volunteer Tech Vlog.